Good evening, everyone. Today I am here to present the poem Sonnet 141 by William Shakespeare. Before moving to the poem, we will have a look at the writer of the poem. William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare was born in Stratford upon Avon in England during the period of English Renaissance. He received excellent education with heavy focus on grammar and literature. William Shakespeare was an English poet, playwright, actor, and father of English literature. He is famous for his sonnets, and his plays are mainly based on comedies, tragedies, and histories. Now, let's move on to the summary of the poem. The sonnet describes a lover's confession to his beloved, the dark lady, and how his senses warm him of the woman's disreputable character. The narrator denies the attractive features of the woman as his eyes detect the errors, the physical imperfection, than the moral faults, but his heart loves what the eyes dislike. The dark lady is not able to stimulate the four senses of her, not capable of giving any sensual stimulation. The narrator finds her attractiveness not through the senses but through his desire of heart. Despite knowing her faults, the narrator consoles by the pain she inflicts on him as a punishment for his sinful behavior. Next, we'll have a look at the themes of the poem. First theme is the love and the object of love. Shakespeare usually describes the tradition of courtly love in his poems, but in this poem, he presents the reality of love and its object, the reality different from the courtly love. I don't love thee with my eyes, for they in thee a thousand errors note. It presents the realistic nature of love in the society that notices the faults of the physical appearance, a thousand errors, and a love beyond the physical attraction. But it is my heart that loves what they despise. Here, through this phrase, the narrator enhances the spiritual love towards the dark lady that does not notice any blemish of the appearance. Next, the color prejudice. The woman presented in the poem is apparently dark skinned, that evokes the color prejudice. I do not love thee with my eyes. Here, Shakespeare highlights the speaker's overwhelmed emotional attraction to the lady in contrast to the vision as it notices a thousand errors on the lady. Usually, in the Elizabethan age, the beauty of women is highly admired, but in this, the narrator does not admire the beauty of the dark lady through the vision, but through the heart. Next theme is the struggle between the physical self and emotional self. It is a major theme of the poem. Shakespeare emphasizes the physical imperfection of the dark lady to reveal that she is not capable of the intellectual stimulation. No are my ears, no tender feeling, no taste, no smell. The narrator confesses that though the lady is full of blemishes, he admires her, but not for the physical appearance. Art slave and vassal, wretch to be. Here, the speaker struggles between the physical and emotional self as he has lost his control over the emotions and it makes him a miserable person. Only my plague, thus far I count my gain, that makes me sin awards me pain. Through this phrase, the narrator portrays the troubling attachment and suffering gained by the love to the narrator. Next, we'll move on to the literary devices. First, the archaic language. It is the use of older versions of language and art. This die are some of the examples used in this poem. Personification. Shakespeare, in the poem, personifies the senses to describe the woman whom the narrator addresses. But this, my heart that loves what they despise. Here, the narrator's heart personifies the emotions that the mind can control. Know my ears with thy tongue's tune delighted. Through the word mine ears, the narrator gets delighted and his physical self is separated from his emotional self. Next, the symbolism. Mine eyes, my heart. It symbolizes the vision and the emotions of the narrator. But my few wits, it symbolizes the sensual perception of the human being. Five proud hearts, it symbolizes the dark lady's heart is proud than the narrator's heart. Who lives unsaved the likeness of a man. Here it symbolizes the losing of control of the narrator. Only my plague and that she that makes me sin awards me pain. This quotation symbolizes the suffering of the narrator and pain that affected by the love for Dark Lady. Next, the imageries. Shakespeare, throughout the poem, has used various imageries to present the ideas effectively. In faith, I do not love thee with my eyes. It visualizes the image of a dark lady having 1,000 errors in her physical appearance. The narrator does not admire the physical appearance as his eyes notice the blemish of her appearance. The quotation, "No are mine ears with thy tongue's tune delighted." The writer uses the auditory imagery to imply the sensual image and suggest the woman is not having a melodious voice to make the narrator delight. No tender feeling to base touches from. With the words tender feeling, the writer creates the tactile imagery that evokes the physical imperfection of the dark lady. No taste, no smell, desire to be invited. The narrator uses the gustatory image at the word no taste and olfactory image with the word no smell to suggest that he does not get any physical pleasure as she is full of blemishes. The next technique is metaphor. Tongue's tune. It metaphorically presents that the dark lady's voice is not melodious. To any sensual feast with the alone. The words sensual feast metaphorically brings out the sensual satisfaction that the narrator is unable to gain. The quotation, heart slave and vessel rich to be, highlights the loss of control over the emotions that makes him a miserable character. And only my pain, thus far I count my gain, that makes me sin, awards me pain. Here the word plague implies the poet's distress and suffering forced by the love. And it is also paradoxical as the narrator considers the suffering he gains with the dark lady as a gift and also a punishment for him. Then the dramatic monologue. Shakespeare addresses to his beloved in the poem using the words thee and they. It creates the dramatic monologue in the poem. And also the writer uses some sound devices in the poem. Alliteration, assonance, and consonants are there, and the quotations are examples for them. The last literary device in the poem is anaphora and repetition. Anaphora is a group of words repeated at the beginning of two or more clauses of a poem. Nor are my ears with thy tongue's tune delighted, nor tender feeling. Here, the word no is repeated again and again to emphasize the faults in the physical appearance of dark lady. Here, it is also repeated again and again to emphasize that the dark lady is not having an appearance that admires the narrator. I hope you all have gained something new. Thank you for listening.